just step out of the car real quick, okay? And I'll explain what's going on. Don't.
I'm not doing nothing.
Don't. You're tensing up, bro. Don't do it. Don't do it. Keep your hands behind your back. Wait. Don't.
I'll tease you!
You did?
Yes!
Okay.
I grabbed the gun! I shot him! Oh my God!
A traffic stop in the spring of 2021 turns into chaos for the officers, the driver, and the entire community when a fatal mistake becomes a national flashpoint, igniting a wave of unrest. As agitation spreads throughout the city, the tensions between the police and the public erupt, and the world watches to see what justice will look like in this explosive case.
This is the America we live in now. My God, it's a war zone.
The following report is based on official police records, and some of the footage has never been seen before until now. On April 11, 2021, two officers in Brooklyn Center, Minnesota stop a car when they notice expired tabs and an obstruction hanging from the rearview mirror.
April 11th, 2021, Brooklyn Center, Minnesota. A routine traffic stop turns into a national tragedy when a veteran police officer pulls her gun instead of her taser. A young man loses his life, a city erupts in protest, and the world watches again as America confronts the deadly cost of policing mistakes.
Sakes, dude. Really?
Move forward.
You're gonna stop right here.
Officer Kimberly Potter takes up position at the rear of the car as her trainee, Officer Anthony Lucky, approaches the door.
Hey, what's going on, man? You got a driver's license and proof of insurance for me at all?
Oh, that's inside.
You don't have a driver's license? Okay. What's your name? You're Dante? Okay, gotcha. Well, there's a couple things. Here's why I stopped you. The air freshener hanging down there. Yeah, can't do that. And then our other question is your tabs. Yeah, just keep looking for the insurance, and then I'm gonna write your name, date of birth down. All right?
The man they've pulled over is 20-year-old Dante Wright, and a young woman named Elena is in the passenger seat.
Officers Kimberly Potter and Anthony Lucky spot a vehicle with expired tabs and an air freshener hanging from the rearview mirror, an obstruction under Minnesota law. They pull the car over. Inside, 20-year-old Dante Wright and his girlfriend Elena.
I wanted to say he was lying, but I think he's honestly telling the truth, so...
As the police run Dante's information through the system, Dante calls his mom for advice.
He calls me and he said, "Mom, I just been pulled over." And I said, "For what?" Like, that was just my first response. Like, what did you do? And he said I had air fresheners in the window or in the rearview mirror. And then I said, "Okay, well, take them down." He was like, "You think I'm in trouble?" I was like, "No, you're not in trouble. What would you be in trouble for?"
But what the police find shifts the course of this traffic stop.
Just run him as Dante Wright. No, just run him like you were in DBS.
Yeah.
Just don't put all that other information in.
Oh, okay.
See what it gives you.
Status, suspended, mail, state records hit.
See? Don't want to code for yourself.
He's got a gross misdemeanor warrant, and there's an OFP for a female, so I need to ID her. There's also residue, like weed on the middle console, so probably search the car. Apparently the car is...
As Officer Lucky engages Dante, it's clear he doesn't have a license. A quick search reveals a gross misdemeanor warrant for a weapons charge. The officers request backup.
It's his brother's.
You want to tell him what the warrant's for?
Warrant is for the weapons violation.
The officers, who have now been joined by a sergeant, return to arrest Dante, taking the first steps toward an encounter that will end in disaster.
Just have him step on out.
Hey, Dante. All right, man, here, do me a favor. Just step out of the car real quick, okay? And I'll explain what's going on. You can just put your phone on the dashboard there, okay?
So
and then
am I
the
going
paper.
to jail?
I'll explain all that in a second, okay? Just turn around, put your hands on your back.
You didn't tell you're under arrest, Dante.
Okay, so you are going to be under arrest, okay? You do have a warrant, so... Don't.
I'm not doing nothing.
Don't. You're tensing up, bro. Don't do it. Don't do it. Keep your hands behind your back. Wait. Wait. Don't.
I'll tease you!
But Officer Potter's taser is holstered on the left side of her belt. She reaches to the right. tragically grabbing her 9mm instead.
I'll tase you! Taser, taser, taser!
But the next sound is not the electric crackle of a taser, but the loud report of a single gunshot. Dante Wright is instantly aware of what happened.
Ah, he shot me. Oh, I just shot him.
You did?
Yes!
Okay.
I grabbed the wrong gun! I shot him! Oh my god!
Okay. Kim, sit down.
The booming sounds from down the street are from Dante's car smashing into an oncoming SUV before rolling to a stop at an intersection a block away from the initial incident. One cop is already on the scene, and soon there will be many others.
Refill contact shots fired. Start more units, please. We're gonna need additional units.
The initial stop was legally justified under Minnesota statute. While the air freshener violation may seem trivial, combined with the expired registration, it provided probable cause. Upon discovering an active warrant, the officers were within their rights to arrest Dante Wright.
Kim, that guy was trying to take off with me in the car.
But Officer Potter is inconsolable, and the news isn't improving.
The driver is not breathing according to the passenger.
Oh my god! What have I done?
When Dante is informed of the warrant, officers attempt to arrest him. He resists, panicked, and tries to get back into the car. Officer Potter steps in, drawing what she believes is her taser.
What have I done? I mean, if I'll just...
But no one else there.
I mean, if I'll just... I'll be in charges. What did I do?
In law enforcement, deadly force is only justified when there's an immediate threat to officers or civilians. Here, Dante was unarmed and trying to flee, not attack. Mistaking a firearm for a taser doesn't negate responsibility. Under Minnesota law, this fits second-degree manslaughter, which covers culpable negligence leading to death.
At the crash scene, where the police response is growing by the second, Elena gets out of the car as the officers prepare to move in on Dante.
After the shooting, Officer Potter collapses on the curb in a state of shock and despair. "I just shot him. What have I done?" she says repeatedly, sobbing. She's escorted from the scene, fearing arrest and punishment. Meanwhile, back at the crash site, Dante's girlfriend tells officers he's not breathing. CPR is attempted, but it's too late.
Few, if any of them, know exactly what happened here.
We heard over the radio that Brooklyn Center officers, there was a possible shooting, took the male out of the driver's seat and began performing a first aid on them.
Paramedics quickly arrive at the scene as well, but little can be done.
As I approached, I believe they stopped doing CPR. I checked a pulse on his right carotid for what I was aiming at about 10 seconds. I moved over to the left carotid to check over there as well. I did not feel a pulse.
Dante Wright is pronounced dead at the scene, and while it's not clear if Officer Potter immediately received the news, a Hennepin County lieutenant finds her in a worrying state.
I got down to her level and I'm talking to her and she was just repeating some things and, I just told her to stop talking. She repeatedly kept saying that she wanted to die. Again, how my conclusion came that there was something critical that took place. I'm going to prison.
Emotional reaction does not eliminate criminal liability. Courts focus on actions, not post-incident remorse. While Potter had no intent to kill, the act of failing to identify her weapon and using lethal force in error fulfills the legal standard for reckless homicide.
Prison, I want to die, just let me die. I talked to her sergeant twice, and on the second time, he finally listened to me, I said, you need to take her gun from her, because I didn't know the whole realm of it, but I knew it wasn't good.
Officer Potter is led to an ambulance where she's checked out before being transported back to the police station. Officer Potter, of course, is far from the only person experiencing trauma from the day's events.
I went outside screaming, I was just so distraught. My neighbors heard me. And my neighbor's like, no, I'll drive you. And there was so much traffic, and I was like, oh my God, I can't. I got out of the car and I started running, but it was so far away. So I had to get back in the car, and I couldn't go any further, and I just see yellow tape.
In the meantime,
Dante's mother arrives on the scene in tears. She had been on the phone with him during the stop. The car she recently gave him was crushed and taped off. Officers gave her no information, but she already knew. "You shot my son," she told them.
cops from several departments and jurisdictions have blanketed the area, and many still have very little knowledge about what happened.
Hi there. No, I don't have all the details. I just replaced my partner about 5 minutes ago. I haven't heard about any officers being hurt at all, but I don't know any details.
When Dante's mom finally gets to the scene, she's confronted with the same lack of answers.
I finally got into the yellow tape, and the police officers were stopping me. I'm like, oh my God, is that my son? And I seen the car that we just gave my son 2 weeks ago was smashed up with another car. And I was like, oh my God, was he in an accident? And Brooklyn Center police officers were talking to me, and they said they had no information. They don't know what happened. I said, well, I know what happened. I was on the phone. You shot my son.
The sight of this many police cars has attracted attention, and it's not long before the mood grows hostile.
Oh, it's me. You're the one that's yelling out a window while you're driving. These people don't even know what happened. I don't even know what happened, and they're threatening to hurt people. Unbelievable.
But the atmosphere surrounding police shootings is tense in the spring of 2021, and that tension is perhaps especially palpable here in Brooklyn Center, where, less than 10 miles away, Derek Chauvin is on trial for the 2020 death of George Floyd, and as news breaks out about Dante's shooting, the gathering crowd begins to take the shape of a full-fledged protest.
That same evening, protests erupt in Brooklyn Center. Tensions are already high. The Derek Chauvin trial for George Floyd's murder is ongoing just 10 miles away. Hundreds gather outside the police station.
Hold the space! Hold the space! Text people to come and Avenue North, Lee Avenue North. Get people here. Do not be violent training. Get the party pigs. Do not be training by them. I want you to fight them. Get people here right now. Text people to get Avenue North right now. Do not go for the Okie The reason why they have so many pigs out here is because they know
But the growing unrest at the scene of Dante's shooting is only the first glimpse of what is in store for Brooklyn Center as the day turns into night and news of the incident continues to spread throughout the community.
The next several nights bring clashes with riot police, looting, and more than 140 damaged businesses. Brooklyn Center becomes a symbol of America's fractured trust in policing.
Riot squads gather at the police station as the protests spread and troubling reports come over the radio.
Minneapolis, female stated looting of Walmart will be happening soon, and hung up on it.
And as temperatures rise across the city, it's perhaps inevitable that some protesters are detained.
My phone is ringing. Can you see who that is, please? You don't have to answer it, but can you tell me who it is? Because it might be my mom, and she's going to be very disappointed in me. Oh, man. I thought I was doing the right thing.
While civil unrest doesn't directly influence a trial's outcome, it adds public pressure. It also often triggers political consequences. In this case, increased urgency to prosecute Officer Potter and reform traffic stop policies in the city.
It's looking real great outside. It looks like you guys got it all in control.
Even as the protests turn chaotic in some areas, police must also confront destruction and theft throughout the city.
I'll be honest with you, I got no idea what to do here. Because I mean, everything around here is getting looted.
The wide net of property damage and looting sends the cops to multiple businesses throughout the night as they struggle to keep up with sporadic outbursts of criminal activity.
You better get the home! Get the home! Y'all better get home! Drop the Stop it! Police, you're under arrest! Come on, your hands up! They probably just ran out of here. That kid looks like he's about 8 years old. Wow, this is the America we live in now. My God, this is a war zone.
The local unrest continues throughout the following week, and the city reports that they've handled at least 200 calls ranging from burglaries to property damage. According to officials, more than 140 businesses are damaged, including several instances of arson. In the midst of the ongoing protests and community reaction, Officer Potter resigns from the Brooklyn Center Police Department on
April 13, 2021, 2 days after the shooting, Officer Kimberly Potter resigns. The next day, she's arrested and charged with second-degree manslaughter.
Yep, I'm just gonna, I know, I'm very sorry. Just, let's just face this way just for the sake of it. I'm just gonna pat everything down. Do you have underwear on?
No, I
Nothing?
just sports bra on.
Okay.
There's no pockets.
Okay. Just kick your leg a little bit, Blenny, thank you.
As she arrives at the jail, Potter has an emotional exchange with the officer escorting her.
I'd give you a hug, but that's probably not allowed.
What's that?
I can't give you a hug. It's probably not allowed.
Yeah, I just be aware that once you walk in the door, everything is recorded, so to speak, and phone calls and everything. Just, I'm sure you know that. I'm just okay, and we'll make this as quick and painless as possible.
In September 2021, Minnesota's Attorney General adds a charge of first-degree manslaughter, increasing the potential sentence if convicted. Second-degree manslaughter under Minnesota law involves creating an unreasonable risk and consciously taking chances that cause death. First-degree manslaughter includes deaths caused by reckless use of a firearm. The prosecution argued that a 26-year veteran should have known the difference between her taser, plastic, yellow, light, and her pistol, metal, black, heavy. Her training, experience, and badge elevated expectations. At trial, Potter claimed she had never before fired her taser or gun on duty in her entire career. She broke down on the stand, stating, "I didn't want to hurt anybody." But the prosecution showed footage of the incident, pointed to training protocols, and emphasized that her mistake was not reasonable for someone of her experience. The jury wasn't asked to decide if Potter meant to kill, only if her mistake was criminally negligent. They found that it was. The case established a precedent that even accidental killings by officers can be criminal when proper care isn't exercised. On December 23, 2021, the jury convicted Potter of first-degree and second-degree manslaughter. In February 2022, she was sentenced to 2 years in prison, significantly less than the maximum 15-year sentence. The judge cited Potter's remorse, her clean record, and the unique circumstances of the case as mitigating factors. But the 2-year sentence sparked national debate, with many saying it was too lenient given that a man was killed. In June 2022, the City of Brooklyn Center agreed to a $3.25 million settlement with Daunte Wright's family. The agreement also included commitments to policing reform, particularly around traffic stops and use of force training. Civil settlements, while not an admission of guilt, are acknowledgments of government liability or failure. They often push cities to review and revise police procedures, especially when lawsuits allege unconstitutional use of force. Daunte Wright's death was a split-second mistake with irreversible consequences. A veteran officer failed to distinguish her weapons. A young man lost his life, and a community, already broken, bled once more. Whether you see it as tragic error or reckless act, the message is clear. In policing, there is no room for fatal mistakes.